All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham, a gripping psychological thriller. Isabelle Drake, a mother grappling with the unsolved kidnapping of her toddler son Mason a year ago, recounts her story at True Crime Con. On her flight home, she meets Waylon Spencer, a conference attendee who offers her a chance to tell her story on his podcast. She refuses but keeps his card in case she changes her mind. Later, Isabelle's husband Ben confronts her about the conference and their differing views on Mason's case, causing tension as they argue about the possibility of Mason still being alive. Ben reveals he's seeing someone new, causing Isabelle further pain and forcing her to reflect on their past relationship. Isabelle, a former journalist, struggles with insomnia and the negative comments and scrutiny she faces as a mother of a missing child. On the day of Mason's vigil, she takes a walk to clear her head, passing her old office at the Grit and reminiscing about her time there. She reunites with her former mentor Cassie, who offers her support and an open invitation to reconnect with their old co-workers. At a bistro called Framboise, Isabelle meets with Waylon again, considering his offer to share her story on his podcast. They discuss the details of Mason's kidnapping and Isabelle's theories. She is concerned about a mysterious comment on an article related to her son's case, which later disappears. Following Waylon's advice, she takes a walk around her neighborhood and encounters an unresponsive elderly man, leaving her feeling unsettled. Later, Waylon visits Isabelle's home to record their podcast interview, during which they discuss the case in detail and reveal their personal reasons for their involvement in true crime. Isabelle begins to suspect her neighbor might be connected to Mason's disappearance and remains determined to find the truth, despite facing threats from him. During a conversation with Waylon, she learns about a cold case he solved involving a missing child taken by a town crossing guard. This strengthens Isabelle's suspicions about her neighbor, as she reflects on her relationship with Ben and their time together before his first wife Allison's passing. She realizes she never knew the full extent of his life with her. Isabelle shares her guilt over Allison's possible accidental overdose with Waylon, who asks whether there could be a connection between Allison's death and Mason's kidnapping. Isabelle admits that she struggled emotionally as a new mother, and Waylon's probing questions force her to confront the darker aspects of her past, including possible connections between Allison's death and Mason's disappearance. In a shocking twist, Isabelle realizes Waylon sought her out at True Crime Con and managed to infiltrate her life, raising her suspicions about his true intentions. Their relationship becomes strained as Waylon admits he believes Isabelle is responsible for Mason's kidnapping. Feeling betrayed, Isabelle kicks Waylon out and resolves to continue her search for the truth about Mason's disappearance on her own. Isabelle visits Ben, hoping to find answers about Mason. She discovers Ben now lives with Valerie, a woman she had previously met at a church support group. Ben insists their relationship began after he and Isabelle separated, offering her no new information. Upset, Isabelle decides to return to her hometown of Beaufort to confront her past, as well as search for answers about her sister Margaret's death and Mason's kidnapping. In Beaufort, South Carolina, Isabelle struggles with memories of her sister and her life before tragedy struck her family. After a tense dinner with her parents, she discovers their relationships have become strained since Margaret's death and her separation from Ben. Isabelle becomes determined to uncover the truth about Margaret's death and Mason's kidnapping. She confronts her mother about Margaret's death and uncovers a dark family secret about her mother's depression and a previous attempt to kill them. Isabelle learns that her father knew about her mother's attempt and chose not to get help for her to protect his reputation. Isabelle's search for the truth about Mason's disappearance is further complicated when she discovers that Waylon is Allison's brother. leading her to question his motives and her own involvement in Mason's kidnapping. This revelation sheds new light on Waylon's interest in the case and his suspicions about Isabelle. Despite this revelation, and facing her own dark past, Isabelle remains determined to find answers and uncover the truth behind her son's disappearance and the tragedies that have struck her family. As Isabelle delves deeper into her investigation, she begins to piece together a complex web of relationships and motives. She confronts Valerie, hoping to warn her about Ben and find common ground. She tries to explain the dangers of being involved with Ben. But Valerie remains defensive and hesitant to listen. As Isabelle continues to search for answers, she becomes more and more convinced that Ben played a role in both Allison's death and Mason's disappearance. She realizes that Ben never wanted to be a father and that he may have orchestrated the kidnapping to avoid being tied down by parenthood. With this newfound knowledge, Isabelle is determined to bring Ben to justice and uncover the truth about her son's disappearance and the tragedies that have struck her family. In a tense confrontation with Valerie, Isabelle accuses her of taking her son and demands to know where he is. Valerie denies any involvement in Mason's kidnapping, justifying her relationship with Ben by claiming that neither he nor Isabelle truly wanted to be parents. Despite Valerie's refusal to reveal any information about Mason, Isabelle remains steadfast in her determination to uncover the truth about her son's disappearance and bring those responsible to justice. The story takes another dramatic turn when Valerie is found dead and Ben becomes the prime suspect. Isabelle meets with Ben in prison, where he insists he did not kill Valerie and has no idea how his ring ended up at the crime scene. Isabelle accuses Ben of knowing about the dead baby monitor, implying that he told Valerie which night to kidnap Mason. Ben remains silent, and Isabelle remains determined to uncover the truth about her son's disappearance and the tragedies that have struck her family. As the novel reaches its climax, Isabelle must confront her own memories and the possibility that her severe insomnia and emotional trauma may have distorted her perception of events. The lines between reality and imagination blur, forcing Isabelle to question everything she thought she knew about Mason's disappearance and her own role in the events that unfolded.